Hey, what is up, you guys? So, I'm getting asked the question a lot, what is a spiritual awakening, right? What is a spiritual awakening? What are you talking about on your channel? Like, what is all this? So, to that, I would respond something along the lines of, well, a spiritual awakening is when you are kind of living unconsciously, you're going throughout your everyday life, you may have routines in place, and you're just kind of gliding through your days, not thinking about it. You're not thinking before you speak. You're not thinking before you are taking action. You're just kind of doing things, right? You don't have any desire to learn. You're kind of just stagnant in your life. Maybe you've been like that for years. And then one day something happens to you, or a series of events, or, for a lot of us, it's trauma, the last couple years, I've been seeing people kind of wake up the soft way. A lot of us, though, did not have the softer way. We had something traumatizing happen, or a series of traumas that happened that took place that rattled our souls to the point that that we had to think outside the box. Our perception was completely changed. If it was something like death, or if it was something traumatizing like that, it happened just very fast. There was no time to adjust, and yeah, it was pretty rough. But the good news is everything happens for a reason, and we are here now, and we are awake, we are alert, we are online, hopefully. And if not, I'm gonna help you do that. I'm gonna help you become aware, and hopefully maybe me bringing certain concepts to you will spare you from having to go through something energetically tormenting in order for you to grasp the bigger picture, your bigger purpose, all that, right? Your expansion, your ascension, essentially. You're raising your vibration, and the earth collectively is going through a kind of vibrational shift right now. We're shifting kind of from 3D to 5D, and what this means, it's just a vibrational density, and so it's great. I mean, we can like ascend our vibration, right? Ultimately, this means that if we're raising our vibration and purging out all the lower vibrations, we don't have to feel any emotions like anger, sadness, jealousy, rage, stuff like that, right? Kind of the lower vibrational emotions. So if we purge all that stuff out and we raise our vibration, we are ascending dimensions, believe it or not. And it's not like we're hopping into other dimensions. All the dimensions are existing right now, right here, right in front of you, but we can only perceive up to the third dimension, and some of us are actually trained to perceive beyond the third dimension, right? And we're all kind of moving into the upper dimensions, and that's just how it is, you guys. That's science. It's just the Schumann resonance. If you don't know what that is, it's the vibrational frequency of collectively of the earth, like overall, the average vibration of the collective overall earth. And that has been spiking to, historical levels lately, and people don't know why. But, those of us that are kind of spiritual, we have a little bit of insight to what's going on, so we know it's just because the planet is raising our vibration. All of its inhabitants are raising their vibration. Whether you're aware of these concepts or not, this is something that's just taking place, okay, you guys? So a spiritual awakening is just going through this process, right? Raising your vibration, learning the lessons that your soul came here to learn, waking up to the fact that you are an eternal soul in a human body, having a temporary personal experience, but you are so much more than that. You are a divine, eternal soul that lives the fuck on. This is not all there is for you, honey. So take comfort in that. A lot of people get caught up in everything right here, right now, like, oh, it's the end of the world. All this seems so big, right? But in reality, try to take a step back, try to look at the bigger picture, try to really feel that connection of where you are from, who you are. Deep dive into what interests you with spirituality, work on your chakras, get it together, because life gets a whole lot more awesome when you start getting rid of some of your blockages, right? When you start purging out all that old energy that is not serving you, and you are able to just live and be free. And I used to have a really big issue with my throat chakra, right? I used to have a big blockage in my throat chakra because for years I would choose to surround myself with people that made me feel silenced, that made me feel as though my voice was not important, that made me feel unheard, that made me feel just like I couldn't live in my authentic truth because I was afraid of others judging me or afraid of what other people would say or think about me, right? And now, since I've gotten rid of all those blockages, as you can tell, I can just kind of belt it out. I can just kind of let the energy flow through me. A lot of my information is channeled, which I hate labels, I hate words, but the word channel is just a label that we use here on Earth to put emphasis on the fact that we can tap into a universal consciousness, basically, a universal internet, essentially, and we're all connected, right? Like, you can meditate, you can do all kinds of stuff to connect your equipment to the router, to the modem, right? And so people like me have just kind of learned to connect our computer to the modem, to the internet. It's hard to live off just a computer when you're doing stuff on the little apps, but you have no internet, right? It's hard. So it's kind of like that with life. The more tapped in you are, the more connected you are, the more you have that better sense of where you're going. You have a better sense of purpose. Your life is better all the way around. You have energy for your passions. You get paid from doing your passions, from creating, from living in your true authenticity, for being yourself, right? A lot of people are figuring all this out. And this is all part of a spiritual awakening, right? You don't have to learn about it. It's not a religion. It doesn't have any rules and guidelines. Spirituality is not religion by any means. There's not any specific beliefs. There's not any specific things you have to do or can't do, right? It's all about you deep diving into yourself and figuring out what is right for you as a person. What is your soul like? What is your soul not like? What do you feel like your purpose is? What do you not feel like your purpose is, right? This is all part of the spiritual awakening process. Getting over things that we project onto other people, right? Sometimes we wake up and we realize how we're acting towards other people is just kind of a mere reflection of how we feel inside. And I'll give you an example. Say that I am jealous of what would I be jealous for? Say there's another YouTuber and they're very successful and they have all these followers and, blah, 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 right? And say that I get jealous, right? If I were to get jealous, maybe it meant, and 9 times out of 10, this is what it means, that person that I'm jealous of is holding a specific quality or a specific frequency that I am capable of, that I have within myself, but that I'm just choosing, not to go full throttle and have everything that she has. And I feel self-conscious about that. I feel, unconsciously, I feel self-conscious about that. I feel upset that I'm not throwing my whole heart and my soul into whatever I want to do or whatever, right? And so, that's just an example. Another one could be weight loss, right? If you're extremely overweight and you see a female or, a male or whoever that's skinnier or more fit or more in shape than you, and you get jealous, 9 times out of 10, you are only feeling jealous because you are feeling insecure about the fact that you are not doing every single thing that it takes to get fit, to get your body in shape, to be like that person. They probably wake up at 5:30 in the morning and, kill it with their workout, right? But you're not willing to do that. So, but you want to have results without taking any action. And because of that, that leaves room for a lot of blockages inside of you, right? A lot of insecurity, a lot of energy that you focus on that kind of pins up inside of you. And that's just how it works, and there's a million situations. You know, we psychologically are so much more complex than we're led to believe, basically, or than we've been taught to navigate, right? We haven't even been taught to navigate ourselves and what is going on in our hearts, in our mind, in our energy body. So with that being said, that is kind of my definition of a spiritual awakening. You know, definitely I want to put emphasis on the fact that it is not a religion. I'm a very spiritual person, and I have found that I find things that deeply resonate with me within almost all religions. There are certain concepts that I'm like, yes, that's awesome. And then there's other concepts within almost every single religion that I'm like, oh, no, that would never resonate with me. You know, that's not right in my eyes, in my opinion, you know? And you know, I don't want to knock anybody who's religious. I just want to let everybody know that it doesn't have to be a certain way or a certain thing, right? You get to choose your spiritual awakening journey. You get to choose your spirituality. And anybody that tries to tell you otherwise, anybody that tells you not to discern for yourself, they're not leading you in the right direction. Always discern for yourself. How do you feel when you're listening to people? Are you like vibrating with joy? Do you want to kind of make a little screaming noise? Like, are you excited? Or are you feeling yucky? Are you kind of like, are you bored? Are you, you know, follow information. You know, a lot of people that are going through a spiritual awakening, they try to chase information, they try to chase knowledge, they try to figure out what they believe. They're looking for something that they feel inside of them, right? They're looking for answers, they're looking for the truth. And you're gonna find your truth and you're gonna find your answers, but they're not gonna be the same as anybody else. So, you know, more advice on your spiritual path. Take everything with a grain of salt. You know, I have a ton of people who I dearly admire on YouTube that I've been watching for years, or, you know, spiritual teachers that I know in person or whoever, that I feel like they have very valid and awesome info. But, you know, there will be things here and there that I'm like, oh, that doesn't resonate with me. Silly goose, or, you know, whatever. That's just up to you. So you guys, that's just my 2 cents on what a spiritual awakening is, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Namaste.